waiting for? You're listening to the Triggered Thoughts podcast, blood.
Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome to the Triggered Thoughts podcast. I'll go by your host name, Verbs.
I'll go by the Genius Man.
At Divine Lady 23.
Yo, people, what's going on, Genius? What's happening, Divine Lady? How are you guys? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good, How are you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Good day?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. You guys?
Busy, but yeah, can't complain.
Good, good.
You guys right? Good. Everyone's good.
Good, excellent. Well, I'm glad because you guys are here and we're ready to record, you get me? So, yeah. This one, yeah, we're going to be tackling the subjects of social media.
Yeah.
So, me and the gang, we decided we're going to tackle this subject because it's a bit complex and there's many elements of social media that, can be discussed and brought to the table. You know what I mean? So, this is the topic we're going to take on today. And, folks, I must warn you beforehand, if it gets a bit passionate in the building, forgive us. It's just that we're very passionate about the subject. And you might just hear some fire cracking off today, you get me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Genius. What do you let me see what you got to bring to the table about this whole social media thing now? I mean, I can give you some clues. We could be talking about bullying, trolling, which I know you've slightly covered before. Do you know what I mean? So whether you or Divine wanna start off with talking about the bullying or trolling, bringing your perspective into, you know what I mean, into the reality so the listeners can hear what you guys are saying. You can fire away, man. Which one of you want to go?
You want to
Divine?
go first?
Yeah,
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to start off by saying that I think it is extremely distasteful. Touching on that post that TSB and Shade Bar done, and this ain't me just coming for anyone because I don't even like the online beef or anything, but I think we do need to be mindful about what we put out there and how we interact with each other, because people are extremely comfortable behind their little screens and on their keyboards, being keyboard warriors and just spilling out of context sometimes. And we don't know what effect that might have on another person.
Absolutely.
Someone might look wrong, but you don't know if they're in the frame of mind of, you know what, because I've been trolled or targeted via the comment sections on social media, I'm going to drop myself. Like when they were trolling that girl and basically saying she's the face of the ugliest UK girls, I want to just debunk that because we're all beautiful in the eyes of the Most High. And beauty is way more than skin deep. So we really need to look at what we're putting out there and how we're even influencing the children, because they're watching everything we do. And as adults, we have a responsibility to set an example of how we interact with each other. And I think a lot of unhappy people are online, and it shows. You just have to observe the comment section, and it's crazy the things that I see people saying. I'm not going to say I've never been guilty of saying stuff, because it can get like that, but I'm just saying we all need to be mindful. Do you know what I mean? We do, because it's a dangerous ground that we're sliding on, and everyone's going through things differently. Everyone has different hang-ups about themselves, about their body, regardless of how cute or well put together someone may appear. Everybody has hang-ups. Salt looks like sugar, but it's still salt. Do you know what I'm saying? So appearances are just one thing, but you actually never know what someone's going through deep inside or mentally. So, yeah, I just find it extremely distasteful. And for me, I like the block button. come on any platforms with that, and I'm blocking you. Basically, you're just going to get airtime, and you're going to get blocked because that's what the button's for.
Yeah.
That's really real. I like that, Divine. You know, and that saying there, you know, I have to say, I have to give you a buzzer for that. Soup looks like sugar, but it's still soup. I like that one, man. That's a nice one. I might have to steal that one still.
Appear like we're confident. People have their own probably perception of who they think I am based off of 2 to 5 minute clips on Instagram. But really, no one has a clue what's going on in the background of someone's life. People show what they want to show, and you never know how strong mentally someone is or how fragile they are by the things that they post on social media. So we need to be mindful of that because, you know, I would say since COVID, a lot of people, mental health, depression, anxiety, and so many things have rocketed. So we need to just be careful about how we're interacting. You know, we do. It's dangerous.
100%, man. I completely agree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me just say a quick disclaimer just to add to what you were saying there, Divine, because what happened with that Shade Barra thing was that young lady who they were talking about, the ugliest face in the UK, she's a TikToker. I don't know how successful she is, but she's a TikToker. And what it was a group of TikTokers. They made her the ugliest face of the UK. They came up with that. Shade Barra basically just reposted her response. But my thing is, Shade Barra, for me, you guys can tell me if you disagree. They're quite negative, innit? They pull certain parts of people's content and they put it out there, and a lot of the time it's something that's being said that's negative that either gives people good traction or bad traction. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think such a fragile moment where that young lady responded and then they decided to take that and put it on their thing. You know what I mean? To me, because of the nature of their platform, it was only going to make people, for me, look at her and not feel that much sorry for her. They were more going to mock her, if you get what I'm saying, and laugh at the fact that she's got that title. Do you get what I'm saying? And that was my argument with Shade Barra. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Add to that as well, that's another thing that I've noticed about online social media. It's almost like a sick culture that people love to see other people down. They love to see in other people's dismay. And I'm like, ooh, I had to really think hard if I wanted to even entertain the devil's playground, because that's what I believe social media can be, the devil's playground. You notice how comfortable people are to say certain things. They're comfortable to trash someone down. They're comfortable to be racist. They're comfortable to even lust after kids that their parents are posting them thinking it's all normal, and they're lusting after people's pick-me-them. The pedos and nonsense are rampant on social media. And I'm like, no one can't tell me this ain't the devil's playground, because it literally is. I can see it. And they're very comfortable. It's a lot.
Absolutely. I completely agree. You know, and I think you have to kind of learn when you go on social media to kind of navigate yourself around it as safely as possible and be very mindful with what comes out of your mouth if you're doing video content and so on, or, you know what I mean, what images you're posting, what kind of messages that send to people. And you also got to read between the lines. Sometimes you could send something or post something with good intent, but then people read it in a different way and it becomes negative. So you just got to kind of think. I always take time to think before I throw things up. I think that's the best thing that you can do. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah.
You know. What's your take, Genius?
Well, social media has destroyed, a lot of interaction amongst these young youths. You find now that they don't even socialize together now. A lot of them are hooked on Snapchat. You see a lot of dangerous stuff on Snapchat. They use it as an opportunity to embarrass people. You see people getting bullied on Snapchat. You know what I mean? I saw a disturbing footage a few weeks ago. I was watching, I like to watch Channel 4 documentaries. It's very good. Quite some eye-opening stories on there. And there was one with this young girl. It seems like, this honey trap murders that take place.
Yeah.
There was one with this young white lad. The young girl, some young girl drew him to the park, and he got knifed up by this young man. And honestly, man, this generation, they're different. Do you know that they wiped all the information? They uninstalled apps. Do you know the police were talking about something called a digital forensic imprint? So a digital print is where they can find, trace your stuff. They know if you've uninstalled the app. They know if you deleted the app. And they were able to find that there were some messages exchanged between this young man and a few other people that were aware of this murder. And they were able to, it took them hours, but they were able to piece by piece things together and, end up tracking or finding out that the girl that was with the boy at the time that lured into the park was actually had involvement, even though she was claiming to be, an innocent party. But once again, these youths now, they use social media as a way to get, quick fame or to get this, spike up the views.
Yeah.
And, whether it's a lot of it is negative, do you know what I mean? Because it's negative publicity, and it's cool, especially amongst the the young ones. And I find that even this culture now, this bad man culture, it's spreading like wildfire. Do you know what I mean? Because people are prepared to do anything for views and likes, go viral for crazy stuff. You got people, posing with knives, posing with, machetes, samurais, and it's like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? The way that these social media platforms should be, there should be something built into these platforms. The same way they're very good with these algorithms, there should be something built into these platforms where the minute you pose up with any sort of weapon or anything that's dangerous, that's supposed to flag up something on the system, and then there should be some sort of consequence as a result of your behavior where the police are notified, and then because it will send a strong message out there to potential offenders, that think it's cool because
they don't want to. The government don't want to.
100%. I was just about to cut you respectfully and say the same thing.
From our algorithm.
It's true.
It's all by design.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's all by design. Let me just give you a quick example. Just like, all right, remember when we went on Power's podcast?
Yeah.
And we had that conversation about the hip hop industry.
Oh yeah.
And I said that in the beginning, Public Enemy was quite dominant in the early 90s, and they were about unifying black people, isn't it? Teaching them about knowledge of self, and a lot of black people across the globe, especially in England and America, were reconnecting themselves with their African roots. Remember, we went to school at a time where man was dissing Africans, calling them boo-boo and all them kind of African booty scratcher and all that. You know what I mean? No offense to my African viewers, I'm just saying how it was back in the day, them times there. But they managed to get people to reconnect to their African roots. Following Public Enemy's success, you had groups like Soul to Soul that was doing the same thing, where they were wearing them leather medallions with the African flag on their jumper. Yeah? And what happened was, when the music industry owners and the government and the FBI recognized that this music was, the vibrations was bringing people together, black people together, yeah? What they decided to do in 1993 was hold a meeting, and they showed a meeting with the top record label executives. I'm not going to go into who they are, but they're the people with the J, yeah? Yeah, them, the FBI, what's it called? The president, all sat down, had a meeting, and then they decided that they were going to change the face of hip-hop, And that's when they brought in NWA, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, all these people that started to all of a sudden talk about hoes and shooting niggas and all those kind of things, and then here we are today. So if you can see that happened within the hip-hop industry, and they changed that so fast to the point where we're now disrespecting our women, using slave names to label ourselves and so on and so forth in such a short space of time. That's going on now with the whole drill, social media, Snapchat, all them lot, where you're talking about the algorithm should be able to identify if kids are posing with weapons and flag them up and that. You know, the online providers selling these machetes and zombie knives that are being delivered to young people's houses and stuff. None of this shit should be going on. So it shows you that they're doing this shit on purpose, and it's by design. They want people, especially young people from a particular background, impoverished, to wipe themselves out.
You know why? Because if we look like we're out of control, that's more reason and excuses for them to bring in martial law, because it's about control. Hence why the test run was COVID. Sorry, I just want to say that. I feel like it was a test run to see how people would react. And a lot of people failed. A lot of people proved exactly what they wanted to see, which was that we're not strong in the mind and we don't know how to pick sense from nonsense. And I say that because I worked in the NHS. And we are easily led as sheep instead of paying close attention to the blatant, obvious signs. Even with social media, you see, for me, my algorithm is quite tame because I've set it a certain way that certain things that are negative won't cross my path unless I'm looking on the actual search algorithm bit. My own algorithm, what I've codified, are people who are positive, people who are teaching each other things, people who are doing the healing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because with the algorithm as well, it's very dangerous because, like you said, you've got the music industry, you've got city girls. Now, don't know city girls come from me. Everyone do your thing. If you want to shake your tail, shake your tail. No judgment. but I just feel like there's a time and a place. You understand? Because I like to shake my tail. But on social media, I feel like it's such a sensitive platform. We have to be mindful about what we put out. Even who you're following. Like, they follow that lady. I don't even know her name. Is it Sherelle or something? I don't even know. Sprinkle. Miss Sprinkle. And then you had that man. Was his name Kevin something? I don't even know. Because I feel
Kevin
like...
Samuels.
Yeah. Even though both of them do make valid points with certain things, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to debunk everything they say. Some of the things they say and incite is actually going to cause more rift between people, genders. So, yeah, I just don't think it's healthy. And people are easily influenced online, because I swear even in I did a post that went viral on a different podcast where I was basically saying, like, I'm loyal to my king. Another guy's not going to sway me just because he's got more money. Because I'm like, make it make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? More money. Like, he needs to have a bit more than just money to, like, sway someone. What about depth? What about him being a man of conscience? What about him being able to lead you or pray when shit's getting hard? I don't know. And they were all up in the comments. Majority of people were cool, but you had the odd ones in there with their little sprinkle comments. And I was like, babe, it's because you don't understand the level that I'm on, babe. I'm not on your level, mate, in that way. You lot can sprinkle. I just don't think we should be encouraging certain behavior because it's not healthy, it's toxic. And we do it online.
Very true, man. Yeah, man. you got that spot on, and you're moving into another part of that now, and you're moving into like red pill. Yeah, mate. So for those that don't know what red pill is the the movement of content that's being put out there on social media, on podcasts, where I can give an example. You had like, she's not really running like that no more in the same sort of field, but you had, I don't know if you guys know Pearly Things.
Yeah, what's happened to her?
I know she's...
Oh, yeah. Podcast, yeah.
Yeah. She come to England and took over the podcast game at one point, innit? Yeah. I think she left and she's gone back to doing ordinary, like, some type of, just talking knowledge type of podcasting now, meeting up with groups of people, business-wise and all that. I think it's along them, but it's not what she was doing before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, because it was relationships, right?
Right. So she'd have, like, a panel of men and a panel of women in the studio, and it was deemed, the women were deemed as, like, the modern-minded, materialistic woman, and the men were more like the old school minded. They were young, but they were like the old school minded man, if you get what I'm saying. And it was just men and women disrespecting each other in the studio all day long, and whatever the men were saying, Pearly Things was almost going on like she stands with what the men was saying and was ripping the women to shreds and embarrassing them, calling them all kinds of names: fat, jobless, ambitionless, getting security to come and remove them, get her out of my studio, turn off the mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the point where she was doing it so much, because I'm not gonna lie, there was mixtures of different races on the show, but a lot of the times it was black people, and a lot of the times when she was flipping and removing the black women out, and some of the black women even got very aggressive with her and started to hurl abuse and say threats. But, from that era, which I think happened around about probably just after lockdown times, we've got those type of podcasts still going on now. I mean, you got the one in America, Fresh and Fit. You know about them?
No.
Yeah, you don't know Fresh and Fit? Some
negative. I won't speak my mind out. I'll be real.
Oh, okay, I'm just surprised you ain't come across. I know it's not on your algorithm, but I'm surprised you ain't, because they're that successful where they'd pop up. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they do the same thing. Have like 10 women in the studio with just 2 men, and they'll ask them questions about dating, and the women would just say madness, if a man's gonna be with me, he's got to be on no less than 100 grand a year or something, and they'd laugh at her, and it's mad. So now from then I noticed that there's this agenda of these red pill podcasts and red pill content where it's just separating men and women. Do you know what I mean? What do you guys think about that influence that's happening on social media in this modern time, man? And do you think there's an agenda?
I think it's weird. You know why? Who are you going to hug? Your AI girl or your AI guy? Like, what do you mean? Men and women need to coexist, and we should be able to have healthy conversations where, even if your opinion is different from mine, it doesn't take away from your opinion or my opinion. You understand? It's just about being respectful and understanding that we may just have different perspectives. But I can only tell you of my experience with a guy, but I cannot tell you how a man thinks. I need to learn that from you. The same way you can tell me about your experience with a woman, but you can't tell me how a woman thinks because you're not a woman. So that's why we need to teach each other. But instead, we're so busy pointing fingers, taking jabs, and promoting, can I swear, foolishness and fuckery. Yeah. It agitates me, especially even when I see women saying, my kids don't need a dad. I don't need no man. Babe, where did that actually come from? Because that sounds like that came from a wound you haven't healed.
Yeah.
More than likely, you didn't have your dad around. You didn't have a good male role model. And now you're just perpetuating that. It's really a void that you feel, but you haven't yet accepted that to yourself. And now you're spreading it out there because that's what you see, but it's toxic because men and women need each other. It's so weird. I just find it extremely weird because I have conversations with men and women and I don't struggle with it. So, I don't know.
I'm glad you think like that. What was you going to say?
All the games that people play as well, I'm like, whose time are you wasting? Your own time. And I feel like you just have to see as well that if people don't respect their own time and their own energy, they're not going to respect yours and they can't meet you as you meet yourself. So just don't associate. We could all tell our stories about, you know, our experiences with the opposite sex, you know, but I just think we need to be mindful what we spew out there because we cannot coexist without each other. And I feel like it's healthy for children to have both female and male role models, literally. And I can't lie. I think my relationships I have with the men in my life, I'm grateful for them because they teach me stuff. We have conversations. There's a safe space there. Do you know what I mean? And you actually learn a lot about men. And for me, I think we've got it twisted that feelings and emotions and certain things are mutually exclusive to one gender. When really, we all go through things. We all feel things. And we just don't discuss it. We just keep pointing fingers, thinking our pain's worse than your pain as men, and women go through so much, but men don't go through anything, and then men think women don't go through nothing and they're carrying it, whereas we could actually discuss it, create a safe space, and communicate how we can help each other with that. Literally. I don't even know why men and women like to argue so much. I find it weird. I don't even want to argue with my man. I'll be real. So I don't understand how men and women argue so much online because I'm like, couldn't we be using that energy for something better? Isn't it draining? So draining. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you could.
I think it's a power trip, innit? And I think like these red pill podcast content, whatever it is, they're not helping, innit? Because people sit down and watch them and they're like, yeah, you know what, I agree with that, and yeah, I agree with that. That's my standard. This is my standard. They put things in people's head. Even if you're just watching it for entertainment, sometimes subconsciously, if you're not strong-minded enough, a lot of people would claim that they're strong and they're not as strong as they think, innit? And then it filters down and then you have problems in the real world now because on top of the fact that now men are not able to comfortably go and approach a woman out in public without her feeling like she's being harassed. I'm not saying all, but there are a dynamic of women out there that feel like that. Do you know what I mean? And there is a dynamic of men that do push the boundaries when it comes to approaching women in public as well. But I think because of that now and everything's all social media, dating and all that kind of stuff, I think you're starting to see that whole red pill sort of template showing itself in online dating nowadays, you know what I mean? I mean, like, I'm not going to mention no names, but Genius, do you remember when you had a voice note from one of your followers talking about their son's difficulties with, don't say no names, your son's difficulties with dating in this modern time, do you remember?
Oh, yes, and yeah, I know that is,
You know what I'm saying? That was a mum calling, reaching out to Genius on behalf of, displaying her frustrations on behalf of her son who was, what is he, in his about 30 or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was struggling to find a good woman because he's a good guy, and anytime he approaches one of them toxic type women that don't want a good guy, they would reel him in because they like him because he's a good guy, and then when they realize he's good, they would sort of use him to entertain their needs. So all the toxicity that they're going through, they end up calling him and talking to him about it about other men and stuff like that. And he's just being that listening ears, friend zone type of guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the man was highly pissed off because she was saying that it's happening a lot and she wanted to come on and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That was an eye-opener.
A lot of online dating, I'll be real, I'm not involved. I've been single for about a year and a half, and nah, I can't do the whole online thing. Even when people approach me in my DMs, I can't lie. No offense to anyone, because I'm probably outing myself right now.
You got fans watching and that.
I'll be like, I got someone just because I don't like the whole online thing. I feel like people give you a persona of what they want you to see. I feel like people do that full stop in life anyway. That's how a lot of us get caught up in some situations that are not tangible for us. You know, they're not healthy, or it's like, oh man, how did you miss the signs? But it easily happens. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people will give you their representative in the beginning. They won't actually show you who they are, because I think a lot of people don't know who they are, for one. And I think a lot of people are not even comfortable with who they are because they haven't done the work. I think a lot of people are bouncing from pillow to post. They don't know how to sit down and be on their own. We've got the whole culture of also getting underneath someone to get over someone. And it's like, sit down, rest off. Facts, you know, because sometimes we need to do healing so that we don't keep making the same mistakes. And I think everyone's just dumping their energy into each other, and relationships and man and woman is a lot deeper than people even realize.
It's true.
Very true. Very true. No, you're right still. You know what I mean? I always make reference to back in the day when I used to be out in raves and stuff like that, and certain man them that I know that were not the type to settle down, the type to play games. And like, we'd be out and we might see a group of women, and you know, one or two of them might be the type of women where you kind of get a sense of their innocent still type of, you know what I mean? Like, they ain't been damaged yet. They ain't gone out there and had enough relationships where they've been damaged yet. Do you know what I mean? And the guys that I know would try and haul and pull them. And when I realize that they're good, I just tap my brethren and just be real and be like, bro, leave her alone. You know what I mean? And like, nah, man, she's nice, man. She's not, leave her alone, man. We got enough people out here damaged, man. You know that you're not going to look after her properly. Just don't damage her. Let somebody have a chance of getting a good wife. You know what I'm saying to you, though?
Add to the damage.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, sit down after they've come out of a relationship and take the time to heal, not just jump into something new. And for women, I don't know, but for me, I just want to say to the young girls out there, don't let everyone stick their hand in your cookie jar. Because I'll be real, at this big age of 41, if I could do things different and I understood life to the degree that I understand it now, I probably would wait till I'm married. I wouldn't have kids. I would preserve myself. And I think we're not teaching our young women and our men even to preserve themselves, because sex is more than physical, and there's a lot of spiritual aspects that come to it, because you could be doing really well in your life and then you go lie down with the wrong spirit and all of a sudden shit is upside down. You ain't got no money, your car's being taken, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've lost your job, and it's all because it's more than just a physical thing. It's a spiritual aspect of it. Like, a lot of people are lying down in the bed every night with their partner, but their partner don't even know who they are. They're just meshing bread, but there's no real intimacy. And I think it's because everyone's sometimes searching for pieces of their self in other people. When if you just do your healing, I believe that eventually, if you're meant to be with someone, you'll attract the right person who will be on your vibration. I'm in no hurry. I can't lie, because I'm like, I don't even want no man touching me like that. I'm probably hella bougie in that way. I'll be real, because I'm like, I've got this saying, and I think I said it to one of you guys, and my friends laugh because they probably think it's so like harsh and even probably a little bit crude. But I'm always like, nah, most people haven't really done the inner work. So what I see out there is that you got a lot of men. I'm going to be really frank, and I'm even going to say a bad word. So excuse me, I do apologize, but this is just my way of putting it.
Speak your piece, man. Speak your piece.
You have a lot of men out there right now, not all, because there's some good men, let me just say that, but you have a lot of men out there right now, and all they have to offer you is dick and depression. Just like you have a lot of women out there that come with pussy and problems. You invite that woman into your life and she's just giving you pom pom, but she's giving you problems with that pom pom. Make it make sense. Like, I want none of that. You can keep that. I'll be real. Because if it's going to interfere my peace, or you're going to come with your little narcissistic ways, or you haven't done your work and dealt with your daddy and your mummy issues, because a lot of us have it. I've had mummy and daddy issues. But when you sit down on your own, that's when you get to chop up things. Stop looking for someone to fill a void. Fill that void in yourself. A lot of people, even online, they're looking for validation. Yeah. I don't need nothing to validate me. And that's why a lot of the time people do not like me, because I don't need your validation. I don't. And that's the truth. Like, if I'm posting something, it's because I want to post it. Literally. It's not because I need your likes or your validation. You know?
That statement. That statement there that you said was real, man. That's a, you know what, that bit that you just said before, you know, that's a whole clip within itself, you know that, innit? That's a whole clip within itself.
I want to talk like how I would talk if I was having a conversation with my friends, so people can see the authenticity, like I'm authentic. Because when you really check it, for real, we bounce from relationship to relationship. And what did you get? What did you get from that man? Dick and depression?
Very true, that's true.
Pussy and problems. Yeah. And then you got people who think if they've got money, then that warrants them to have access to you, or that will cover a multitude of problems and issues that they have. Nah. You got to more than that over here. Money and penis ain't going to cut it. We got to go deeper than that. So if that's all you've got to offer, it's basic. It's just like women, all you've got to offer is your body, your big bum, and your lace fronts and all of that. Then I don't know. Where are we going? Nowhere far. Literally, nowhere far.
Very true, very true. I'm sure Genius is going to want to add to that, man. Genius, you've hardly spoke, my brother.
I've been speaking.
Go on.
Boy, the value on fire, man.
I'm trying not to be too fiery, but I think
you're on fire, man.
I thought you wanted to jump in, Genius, from when Divine was talking about like the you know, when you connect with the bad spirit, when you trouble people and stuff like that.
To be honest, she was spot on, man. I can't even top that. But what she was saying is true. The sexual energy exchange, as I call it, SEX. You know, the transference of spirits. Not to mention, you have the incubus and succubus as well. You know, the night visitors that come and trouble people when they're sleeping during the night. All these things are very real, man.
Break that down for the listeners, man, because I remember the last time you brought that down, man, you made me feel like raw. You know what I mean? Yeah. I beg you, please.
So, you see, sex is energy, and obviously, like Divine rightfully said, you have to be very careful with the kind of people that you get with. You know, people. It's deeper. Sex is not just physical; it's spiritual. And there are, you know, there's a connection that is established. And the thing is, you know, when you get with someone, especially when you sleep with this person, you enter into what is called a blood covenant, or it's a spiritual covenant. You become one with that person, meaning that, you know, you now sleep with that person, you exchange, you know, similarities. You start finding as well that once you're with that person, certain ways merge. It's deep. And the thing is, when you sleep with multiple people, you take on all those characteristics and those personalities and those demons. Do you see what I mean? And you end up being a mess, a wreck. And this is why you find sometimes a lot of the people, you know, when you see that they're depressed, they're anxious, you know, they're struggling in life. All these things are a direct result of, you know, sleeping with multiple partners. Some people never really get the satisfaction they're looking for because it's found within one connection, one partner. Do you know what I mean? When you're out there sleeping with multiple people, you're not satisfied because you're longing for something that you will never have because you've taken on all those, you know, other demons and other personalities. Wherefore, does that what I mean? So now you're haywire. Does that what I mean? Not only that as well, you find as well. This one is a bit deep. When a person is visited by, some people will know them as night crawlers, incubus, succubus. One is a male, one is a female demon. Once those spirits are connected to you, they now enter into a relationship with you. So you'll find now that when these spirits are present, you find now that if there is a person that is, you know, in a relationship with that woman, I mean a natural person, boyfriend and girlfriend, you find what happens now is that there's going to be turmoil in that relationship because what will happen now is that whether it's the male demon or the female demon, you'll find that jealousy now is happening and they're waging war in that relationship. You'll find now is that you're not getting on. There's arguments. There's bad connection. Even as far as miscarriage, a lot of people don't even realize this thing is very deep. Does that mean miscarriage after miscarriage is not anything natural? It's spiritual. You know what I mean? And you have to really, you know what I mean? And for those, if you're natural minded, you won't really understand it because this thing is very, very deep. You know what I mean? I learned a lot of stuff about this thing, man. And the thing is, it's like when you find that you have even dreams, when you find that you're having dreams, and in the dream, it's like you're visited by what is called a known face or a familiar face. It's also known as what is called a familiar spirit. When you now get a sexual visitation, you find that the spirit will come with a camouflage face, meaning it will come with a face that you are familiar with. So what will happen is, wherefore you might potentially, if you're someone that's, you know, spiritually strong, you'll put up a resistance in the spirit, meaning that you'll fight, you'll realize what's going on and you put up a fight. So what this spirit does now is come with a camouflage face. It will come with a familiar face that you know. So what will happen is now you put down your guard. And then now that spirit now will have, you know, sexual relations with you. And what will happen is you'll know it's a visitation because you will find that you wake up with discharge. If it's a man, obviously semen, likewise a woman. This thing is called nocturnal emissions, or what others would know as wet dream. It's not anything natural because obviously I was brought up believing that this is all natural and it's something that you experience when you're when you're becoming a teenager. It's normal behavior. Ain't nothing normal about you having a discharge. You've had a sexual encounter with a demonic spirit. That's why it seems very real. You know, I've had this experience. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a lot of people, I thought it was normal, but it's not. The thing is, every time you have this encounter and you release semen, you now enter into a spiritual covenant with that spirit. So that now becomes a regular visitor because it now feels that you belong to it now. And the danger with that as well is like every time whether it's a man or woman, every time you establish that link, that spirit leaves what is called evil deposits in the spirit realm, which means that, you end up getting sicknesses and disease. It's very deep. So as much as people think that they're getting pleasure from that, what they don't actually realize what's happening is that now you are being spiritually polluted, because that every time that you have that encounter, something is taking place in the spirit realm which affects your life in the natural realm negatively. You find that, nothing's ever going right in your life. You're finding that, there's a block. There's always a block. So, like you're trying to move forward in life and you can't. It's like there's a spiritual embargo in place where it's like you try and there's a blockage. Does that mean whether it's finances, whether it's fruit of the womb, marriage? Does that mean? And if you're someone that don't really understand spiritual things, you'll think this is just normal. You know that some will even call it as bad. Oh, nothing ever. And you'll always know when there's something wrong spiritually, because you'll always hear the person say, "Oh, why does nothing ever go right in my life? Oh, it's something always goes wrong." And this is normally a sign. You know what I mean? There's always a seed. It starts from somewhere, and if you can recognize it, the better for you. You know what I mean? And obviously not to go off track, but also what a lot of people would be good to take note of as well is this thing, eating in dreams and being given drinks in dreams. All these things are very demonic. Mm-hmm. And if you're not someone that's very aware of your dreams, especially the negative ones, and you don't even know how to counteract them or pray against them, you fall victim to those dreams that happen in the spiritual manifesting in the physical realm, because you always get a foresight as to what's taking place in your life through a dream. A lot of people take their dreams lightly. They shouldn't. Things like being attacked by dogs, being bitten by dogs. If a dog makes contact with you in a dream, that's not good. It means, like lust. If you find yourself eating in dreams as well, that's not good. You're being poisoned spiritually. All these sort of things, prime example, you see yourself naked in a dream. Or anything where you see yourself being impacted negatively, you need to address it, because it will tell you what is taking place in your life. If you're someone that's, things are not going right, check your dream and see what's taking place. You know what I mean? But obviously back to the topic of relationships and stuff like that. Yeah, these things is like you rightfully said, these things are impacting a lot of people. We need to be able to sit down and have meaningful, deep conversation with our children and letting them know, what, you don't need to go down the path that we went. It's not even a thing about controlling them, but it's educating them and enlightening them that they, what, if you go down this road and you end up having children before your time, it's going to stop you progressing further in life. You might want, a good job. You might want to travel. You might want this. I mean, all these little things. If you have children are a blessing, but at the right time. Because I know people, I've, had children young, and it's just put their life on hold. There's people that I know that they've never worked a job in their life. Why? Because they've had children from young. And then what happens is what you find as well, when you have children young and you're with that person, sometimes you don't work out the finances. It's a knock-on effect.
Kids back and forth, and it's function.
Yeah.
Everyone involved as well. But yeah, it's deep. It's very deep. I'm moving crazy.
It's true, and even my oldest son, there's obviously deeper conversation that I'm gonna have with him, as he gets older. But there's a lot of things that my mum and dad, they never told me. You know what I mean? I was saying to Verbs as well, and once again, this is a thing with this generation. I feel that if the parents spoke, to their children, I believe that, there would be a lot less murders, because you find that a lot of these children nowadays, they don't have a good relationship with their parents. I speak to a few people, throughout the years, spoken to a few people, and, I found out even from, just random conversation, there's parents that say to me, Dan, you know what? I didn't even know that, my son was being bullied, or I didn't even know that my son had that accident. I didn't even know that my son, it's been suspended. You see what I mean? And you think, like, wow. And it's not even a judgmental thing because, not be funny. It's like the same thing could happen, to my children. But I've always told them, like, look, if there's anything that's going on, in your life, we're here to talk, be open, talk, express yourself, because there's people that are suffering in silence. And, the only way people find out is, when they see, they come home and they see a letter, or they come home and they go up to the room and they see that their child is hanged themselves. You know what I mean? So, and once again, social media plays a big part with that as well. Cyberbullying, prime example, bullying online. I remember, where was I? I remember I had multiple YouTube accounts. I must have had over 30, 50 YouTube, and all got shut down. I've been, called, I've been accused of bullying. I remember I put up a few videos, factual videos, which, can be verified of, people like Rockefeller, Rothschilds, and it was interesting. YouTube came back. I screenshotted the email they sent. Oh, this is bullying and harassment. I was like, how is this bullying and harassment? But I realized that, you know what? These particular individuals, they hold weight in the natural world. So their money and their wealth is enough to be able to, do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't want you to speak on certain things because it will be exposing people.
Do you see what I mean? But then when there's real bullying taking place online, like, for example, the situation with, Ver's.
Yeah.
You're freezing, boy.
The lines are trying it today, bro.
You'll come back, I think.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back now, yeah.
Yeah, you see that's
go on, start again with that.
See that?
Go.
That ain't by coincidence, neither, but we're just going to make it out like it was the internet.
That's incubus and succubus.
Where was I, man? That took me off track, man, innit? Where was I?
You said the situation with verbs.
Money and power.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the situation with that, with the girl that was getting that was allegedly, she said that she was called, well, she's known as the ugliest girl on social media. Now, the same way that TikTok and Instagram will block me for, bringing up certain things, why are these things, why are things not being blocked? They choose, you know what, it's when it suits them, when it goes against something that they deem unfit, that they don't like. Do you see what I mean? So it's kind of like double standards. Do you see what I mean? Because when real life bullying is taking place and you're getting people out there that are, I'm not mentioning any names, that are out there harassing people, putting people's personal messages up, screenshotting people's faces, why are these things not being taken down? Why are these things allowed to stay up? Do you see what I mean? And you have people trolling people like crazy online. And the thing is, not everybody's, strong mentally. There are some people that will go as far as topping themselves because you've embarrassed them to a point now that they're on, social media. They're on either Instagram or YouTube. YouTube is a prime example. So I see a bag of mess on YouTube. People getting bullied in jail. Is that what I mean? But yet, YouTube don't take it down. Try and put that up on TikTok. Even if you have a car accident, you post up a video of a car accident, TikTok is flagging it up. I remember I posted a video with who was it? What's those smart cars? The electric cars, Tesla. Two Tesla cars. One Tesla car lost control. The guy was going at 100 miles per hour. He couldn't control the car, and he crashed into 3 people, and it killed 2 people died from that. TikTok flagged that, oh, this is dangerous. I'm like, but this is reality. Things like that happen. So you find that a video like that will be allowed on Instagram, allowed on YouTube, allowed on Facebook, but then blocked on a platform like TikTok. And you're kind of like, but how? But then when someone's getting bullied or there's racial abuse taking place, it doesn't get taken down. Do you see what I mean? You get prime example. You got Verbs. Verbs was just talking about Happy Father's Day. Talking, shout out to all the dads out there that that are good dads, can't get to see their kids. Which is the fact, which I know plenty. I've got plenty of friends that they're not allowed to see their child because the mum is, you know what I mean, playing games. That got flagged up, and I'm like, but how has that broken any community guidelines? Why have you removed that comment? So you see stuff like that. That is nothing, but then you leave up someone that's just got attacked and knifed up. Make it make sense.
Programming. Do you know what I mean? Programming.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They want you to be programmed into thinking and behaving a certain way. And the biggest influence is online, basically. Because, like I said, you look around, you've got a lot more people who are sheep than people who are leaders and think for themselves. And dangle in front of them or give a person power, money, and you'll see who they really are. Like, all of it is just programming to snatch the ones who don't. They think they're strong-minded, but they're not really strong-minded because they are easily influenced by what they see online.
100%. 100%. And I think if you think out the box, you don't follow these so-called social media norms, this negative, crappy behavior that they're endorsing, do you know what I mean, and leaving unblocked.
Yeah.
If you think out the box, but when you're thinking out the box and you're putting up posts, even if it's a small amount of people you seem to be impacting on, and they're like, raw, you know what? That's true, you know. They start blocking your shit. Even though it's positive, they start blocking your shit, man. You know what I mean? Because that shit's been happening to me all the time, man. I'm a newbie to this Instagram thing. I'm on there less than a year, innit, genius? You know what I mean? And I'm getting blocked like hell for the most maddest of men. And it's usually when I'm spitting facts. Do you know what I mean?
Tell her about the one where you was talking about the housing, estates, what happened?
So there was a video short, of this believe he was like a Somalian guy in what's the area called again? Oh my god, I forgot what it's called. You know, he was in a particular area near the city somewhere,
Okay.
And he said that his friend told him to meet him there, in the estate. So he went in the estate, and when he went in the estate, it was like it's Pimlico, that's it. When he went in the estate, there's all these high-rise blocks, but in the center of the estate, it's almost like old school high-rise South London looking blocks, but there's kind of newly built parts in there as well. There's water fountains with pretty lights and all them kind of things in there. There's a tall building that looked like a block, but it's been gutted out and turned into offices, so you can see all this city business going on in there. Do you know what I mean? And then there was another tower block that was there, and it had schools in the tower blocks. They're saying, "Right, look at this! Like, you can see the city block with the businesses going on in there. Look at this one next to it. It's strange, man. Like, it's got schools in there."
They had everything within the actual block of flats, right? Like a shopping centre, offices, school. Yeah, I saw it.
Everything. And then like people around like, that's mad. Like, I ain't seen anything like it. But then I must have put up a lot of people don't know that back in the day I saw something late on TV one time when I was like in my 20s. You know, they usually put the good stuff on late. I think I came in from a rave or something, and it was on about 3-4 in the morning talking about the history of council estate. And they were saying basically that they built council and housing estates prior to the Windrush for the West Indians to come and live in buildings that were designed like prisons but suspended above floor level. So they were in their own, their own vicinity. And if you remember, a lot of them housing estates had ramps where you come down and you join the main road. But when you come down on the ramp, you'd be right near a high street, innit? So that was designed for when you needed to go shopping, like big shopping. You want to go Sainsbury's, you come out down the ramp, you're around the corner from the high road, you go Sainsbury's with your trolley or whatever, and then you go back up the ramp when you finish and straight back into your estate. And in your estate, there's shops, there's probably a laundrette, There's a couple of schools in there. There's a youth centre in there. It's got mostly what you need. Hence why a lot of people don't leave their estate, innit? Do you get me? So I was saying in the comments, that estate was obviously designed for that purpose because the city, back in the day, just like Notting Hill, was overpopulated by West Indian people back in the day. But then what's happened is when they realise now that the city is of value, they gentrified the city, innit? Push people out. And this is probably why you have that type of structure in that estate, and you have that office building in there and all those water fountains. And I said, I can bet you any money that that school that's in the estate is probably exclusively for the people that work in the business buildings. And they blocked me. Give me a community strike straight away.
That's mad.
I do something like that, I think, in regards to like sanctioned areas in regards to COVID, innit? That's why they even put all the stupid plant pots and things in the roads while we were supposed to be staying inside.
Exactly, he came out and it was the plant pots was there, innit, in the middle of a road where you could drive from one side to the other. Now it's right in the centre, so you can't go to the other side. You have to come out and go all the way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because why push everybody into the main roads? That's where most of the time on the main roads is where you get the cameras, right? They want to see what everyone's doing. They want control. They want us to not be able to go more than 15 or 30 minutes away from our specific borough or where we live.
Yeah, that's in line with the 15-minute cities, isn't it?
Yeah, they want to
smart cities.
That's what it sounds like.
15-minute cities, yeah.
But
the new normal.
Mad times. And most of the council listeners, if you don't know about 15-minute cities, do yourself a favour, man. Go on Google or whatever search engine you use and type in 15-minute cities and have a look, and you'll be alarmed at the stuff that you're seeing. Somebody I know from last year sent me a personal list because somebody that lived in a catchment area where they first started the 15-minute cities was sent a letter, and the person sent the letter to my friend, and my friend sent me the picture of the letter. And when I saw the councils on there, bruv, all of the councils in London had already signed up to that shit from last year.
Yeah.
The whole of them was on there.
Of course. They're going to benefit from it, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I just don't know how that can run because I feel like I don't need another human being trying to control me. Why do we as human beings feel the need to control other human beings to such a degree? Why? You know? And if I'm honest, I think people should have really opened their eyes during COVID to see that a lot of the shit that they're told and they see are lies. And it is about mind control and all those things. And it is about monetary gain for the people who are in the hierarchy as opposed to the ones on the bottom who they deem as the rats, because they deem us as the rats. And what do we normally do with rats? We exterminate them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or we leave them in squalor. We're not cared for. You know? That's why they're even in social housing. We don't have a certain standard that we should have. They're okay with leaving people with rat-infested properties, mold. We're even sandwiched on top of each other.
Damp, that's killing kids.
Disrepair, exactly. So much things, but yet we're supposed to trust in this government.
Yeah.
Who clearly showed, if we're being real, they didn't give a F about no one during COVID. And that's why now everyone has been left with depression. You've got people who drink way more than they used to. Domestic violence. You've got people who don't even like to leave their house now because of all the fear-mongering stuff that they did. Elderly, you know, some extremely vulnerable people. I worked for the NHS, so I saw it with my own two eyes. they scaremonger people because they let something get out of control. That's what happens when human beings go down the rabbit hole and start experimenting. Usually, the ones they're going to test that experiment on are the small people at the bottom of the hierarchy who they deem as the rats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then they push the other narrative. That's why at the same time they push the whole Black Lives Matter narrative as well, because it's divide and conquer. But I saw that a lot of people in areas that they probably think are undeveloped and uneducated are actually extremely educated, and we peep everything, and we're not silly, and we know what the agenda is, basically, you know. But yeah, never subject now, boy.
Nah, you know what? You could flow away, you know, 'cause what you're saying is truth, man. It's real. You know what I mean? That lockdown shit, like, they were really programming people out here, man. Do you know what I mean? And pumping messages into people's head, had people sitting down watching Boris chat shit for half an hour every day, 7 o'clock. Depression. I saw people sinking myself, man.
It was like, how did you fairmonger so many people into taking what you highlighted as a trial vaccination? Meaning,
Madness.
if it's a trial vaccination, they don't have any responsibility when that shit messes with your health. But yet everyone ran with it. Oh, I won't be able to travel. Oh, I'm not going to be able to see my friends. Oh my God, we're going to run out of toilet roll.
It's true.
I was like, yeah, people don't know how to sit down and really deep things. And it's because we're constantly running away from ourselves, and they have to keep us in the rat race, because if we're kept in the rat race, then we're distracted. We don't really peep what their agendas are. And when you check it, their agendas are BS. And that's the truth, because they're not taking care of no one. You've only got to drive down the city, drive through Peckham, Brixton, in the night time, see how much people are sleeping at the bus stops, on the walls, in shop floors, like in the shop doors. And really? And it's normal. It's been normalized, and it's not normal. Like, it's crazy. And a lot of the stuff they push out to mind control people is through online, TV. You're sitting down watching EastEnders and Coronation Street. If that's your thing, cool, but does it teach you anything? Does it show you anything positive? Or does it just throw you more into your depression because you're just watching these low vibrational, I don't know.
100%, I agree.
Bit of it is fine. Like, I watch a little bit of Ratchet TV, but constantly feeding your mind with the things that they're showing ain't going to help you. You've got to program yourself a bit, literally, you know, because online is the most influence, literally.
I agree. Now, I just feel that from we was watching the reality TV, Big Brother, not so much that, but more the keeping up with the Kardashians, all these celebrity ones where they're going and buying their kid on their 16th birthday, these Lamborghinis and Rolls Royce cars. And how can you be from an ordinary background, watch that week in, week out, and it don't do some kind of don't give you some kind of depression that you're not living that life?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's just gone from bad to worse. And like you said, Divine, I think definitely since the lockdown, I think things have just gone absolutely haywire. I mean, the crime levels has gone mad. Youths on the road mad. Phone theft became a thing where it was almost like it just diminished. There was no more of that. Phones weren't worth nothing. All of a sudden now, these guys are on these electric bicycles in the city and that, they're snatching phones for sport, and it's like, it's a big thing now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what I mean? Snatching cars, taking people's cars, pulling them out of a car. It's mad. It's gone mad. Even the, I don't know if you lot know about, because up here where I am, they've got car cannibalism. Have you ever heard of that?
What's that?
All right, so during the COVID lockdown, Do you remember, like, because everything locked down and stuff and shipping got affected and stuff, certain car parts of certain car manufacturers was difficult to get a hold of because there was a backlog, innit?
Yeah.
So cars like Fords, Toyotas, what else would I say? Probably like, no, not Golf, but those kind of cars, Fords, Toyotas, the regular ones, Vauxhalls, all them kind of things there, yeah? If you've got like a fairly new one, so say like a 60 plate and over, 2010 and up, yeah? What's happening up here is if you park your car even in a main car park and you go shopping, you run the risk of coming back and the whole front of your car is completely stripped off.
Yeah. Or no tires or something.
Now the whole thing, like they take the bonnet, they take out all the engine components, they take the bumper, they take the lights, everything. You get what I'm saying? You come back and the whole front of your car is just naked. And they do that within a couple of minutes. All for the parts. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing that was happening after. Remember, they were snatching people's catalytic converters. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's gone mad. Yeah, Genius is frozen again. This guy, man.
Oh man.
I thought he's frozen. But yeah, man, the crime levels has gone up, man, and I just think it's since the whole lockdown thing. I know crime was here before, but I just can't help but feel like it's just...
No, it definitely changed things a lot.
Yeah.
I saw it at NHS. It was crazy, man. They wasn't really talking about the real effects of it. I'll be so real, in the sense of like how much people were suicidal, how much people lost loved ones. Like we had elderly patients talking to people like mine and your age about depression, and I'm thinking, when you've got elderly people talking about feeling suicidal and things, we are failing as a society. Literally. We even had patients who hung themselves, killed themselves. Yeah, in the beginning of COVID, they don't even let us use the mask. I'll be so real. I'm not going to hot up the place where I work, but
don't talk too much of the way to get, you know what I mean?
They weren't letting us use masks and stuff exactly how you see in certain documentaries that actually touch on some of the real things that happened. And we thought it was pretty strange when after a while they started trying to push that on us, because in the beginning, like I said, we weren't allowed to use them.
That was money gain. That was money gain. That was a company. That was a company that was providing them. You know that, innit? Yeah, particularly company was providing them. And I remember even my workplace, them times I worked as a family support worker, and they were like, "Oh, come in and get your," what was it called again?
Your testing kits and stuff.
Yeah, come in and get your kit. Yeah, I mean, I was like, the hell is this, man? But a big company was profiting off of that.
I can't lie. Even when they came with the agenda of everybody has to take this trial vaccination, because it's mandatory in order to keep your job and stuff.
Did you nearly fall for it, be honest?
Hell no! I am not ashamed. Yeah. I pray to God, so God gives me discernment, and I'm grateful to be on that path, because trust me, not at all. I knew that shit would not be going in my body.
That's good.
You can't like that. Because when you trust in the Most High, you know He will always provide for you. Literally. So, I never even took one. Nope. I weren't putting that poison in my body, and that's the truth.
Yeah. What about you, Genius?
Man, I was going to say, D, you have to be careful with this, because, YT will flag that up, and give us and remove the video.
I'll beep it, man, so you'll hear it, but you won't hear it fully.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
Now I cover them things naturally, man.
Coughing, and I went coughing before. I was talking clear, but now I'm like, okay, yeah.
Oh wow, for real. Yeah, likewise. Still,
we're not.
that's that to turn off the mic. Yeah.
the truth is the truth, man. Can't
100%.
lie.
True.
You can run away from it, but it don't take away from the truth.
100%.
And I
That's
work
true.
at NHS, literally.
I know you've seen so much more shit, but you just can't say, you can't be speaking too deep like that, you get me?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was alarmed at like the amount of people I used to see when I used to drive past and see the amount of people queuing up outside the tents. I'm like, yo, these people done lost their minds, bruv. The queues are long. You know what I mean?
We are in a society of people who are not free thinkers, though, especially if it's going to make you stand out. A lot of people will just keep quiet and go along with the herd, you know, and I'm just not on that path, I'll be real. So some people ain't going to like my views on certain things, and some people will get it. And yeah, like Marmite. Not everyone likes Marmite. Some people do, some people don't.
Well, this is it. By the end of the day, you know, you have to make a decision over yourself, innit? So it is what it is, you know what I mean? At that time, I was happy to be given the label and be called COVIDiot. I was good with that.
Yeah. Nah. And it's crazy because my mum, on her death certificate, it says she passed away of COVID.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You know, I lost my mum during COVID. I lost people during COVID. So people be like, well, how can you say that is this and it's that? But trust me, when you're in the background, you see different things. And when you actually are walking with your eyes open, and I'm not talking these two eyes, I'm talking your third eye, your vision is different to those who want to walk around blindly. Do you know what I mean? Because you've had people who took it, and after they've taken it, they've become deformed, but they're talking, I would still do it to save the country. Really? Because Boris and them man was raving. Boris and them man was raving while they locked people in their house, but you would still do it again to save who? Really?
Yeah, mad.
I have some deep thoughts on certain things that I know. Yeah, you can't talk those talks with everyone because they're not going to get it.
Yeah, we don't need you to be glitching. We don't need to be glitching next, you know.
Yeah, no, you can't. Honestly, with people, because they don't get it. They don't.
They're washed in it. If they want to be washed off of them business still, you know. All I know is that weren't going in me. And the company that I was working for at the time, they were like, oh, you know, if people ain't had the rare, we might have to look at. I was like, it is what it is, chief. That's what I said to my manager. You know what I mean? It is what it is, chief. Do what you gotta do, man. I'll be alright, man, whether I'm here or not. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And it was so weird because even on a whole spiritual level in regard to that, there was a point where I was like talking to God about it because I think more people need to do that. And Jesus, I'll be real. Or Allah, whoever, but pray to someone. You need to pray. And it's like Spirit said, nah, if you take that, your faith gonna drop on one side. And it was crazy because as time went on, I actually witnessed people online and all of that who had taken it and their faith literally dropped on one side. And I was like, look at that. Because I said, don't take it, because if you take it, your faith is going to drop on one side. You're never going to be the same again. And the fact that I even saw that it actually did have that effect on some people, I was like, nah, crazy, scary, honestly.
That's mad. Yeah, that's crazy still.
I think he's gone, you know.
Nah, he's locked off the screen. I think he's scratching his battery off camera or something like that. Man, I've taught them turn off the thing and scratch their battery, you know. I told him he needs to do that before he records, man, you get me?
I'm sorry,
Nah, joking listeners, man. That's just how I take the mick out of him still, you get me? You know what I mean? You finish?
No, that was one of them weasels up, man. So I was thinking, what's going on?
Okay.
I know. My mate tried to like roll into the room, but they know they're just yeah. So.
For real. But listen, anything else we want to touch on, guys?
Well, I think we went kind of deep.
We
I
did.
don't know how special this one's gonna be because I just got me talking and just saying the real nitty gritty process. Yeah, scary.
For real. Well, I'm happy with this. If you guys are happy with this, you get me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's interesting.
Yeah, man.
It was deep.
Like I said, I got a few good clips from this, so it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, people, thank you for joining us, you know what I mean, for another episode, you know, with the lovely Divine Lady 23, you know what I mean, and Genius Dan in the building. Hope you took a lot out of this episode, you know what I mean, and if we said anything that offended you guys, it wasn't our aim to offend you guys. We're just trying to speak our truth in the most honest way that we can. Yeah? So listen, people, I'm going to say bye for myself, Verbs.
Bye for myself, Genius Man.
And bye from Divine Lady 23.
See you again,
so
Divine.
we'll see you next week on the next episode of the Triggered Thoughts podcast.
See you later.
All right, people. Big up. Thank you, yeah?
Yeah. Nice one, Vaz.